Hello YouTube, I have finally completed Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Great game, and now I can get back into a regular swing of things. In this video though, before you pull on Sherlotta's event banners, tier 10, I'm going to review the units we have here and give you some things to think about. Be sure to like the video, comment, subscribe with your plans, and let me hear your favorite reductionist take of Sherlotta. For instance, and you gotta put it in the basically format to make it legit. So Sherlotta is basically a magic Kate Sith Bartz, right? Because of the gravity, but also the Kate Sith effect. Oh, a magic Kate Sith Bartz trial, right? And touching on the Luna Freya versus Sherlotta thing, very briefly, I don't understand why these two units are being compared. Please, do I need to start making Venn diagrams for units? What do these units have in common? They have a gauge charge skill 1, and they can heal the party. Why weren't we talking about Gabronth versus Tidus? Or, I don't know, it just, if you ask me, should I get Sherlotta or Luna Freya, the only correct answer should be what is this false dichotomy? Why do you have to choose between these two? You can actually get neither, you can get one or the other, you can get both, and you'll be fine either way. If it's a specific question, like I like both of these characters, but I don't know who to get, that's a different question entirely, but as a general comparison, it doesn't make any sense. So let's keep going, shall we? I don't understand how these false dichotomies come up in the community, so whatever. Sherlotta, she is a magic support. She can provide damage that exceeds the cap on her LD and her transformed HP attacks. She's got massive fixed battery. So if you're familiar with Kryal, how she provides, and I'm talking about her BT effect, but every turn you'll get a set amount of battery while her BT effect is up, and it's massive, 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 massive. She provides Brave gain on Brave hits, which is similar to Kate Sith. As in, whenever you do a Brave hit, you will do a stat-based Brave gain for each. So anyone that has a lot of Brave hits before the HP attack can functionally punch through any kind of reductions and cap regardless. She's got healing as an HP regen, and she provides some gauge charge on her skill 1, and I think EX, because it doesn't do any HP damage. I'm not quite sure. Did not crunch the numbers there. Her burst gives her a 20% HP cap up to the party for a total of 35, provided you've blued her. 50% more Brave gains for a total of 70. I think it even goes to 80 if you have her additional ability up, which is massive. You will be capped on Brave all the time with Sherlotta. Like I said, the Brave regen after every action, so AAs, enemy, this counts on enemy actions too, by the way, so you're gonna be batteried like crazy. Especially in off turns. If the bosses are taking a bunch of turns and you're battering yourself, yeah, it's crazy. Brave gain on Brave hit, like I said, and this thing lasts 10 turns, so that is quite a decent chunk of time. Although, to be fair, Sherlotta does take a couple instant turns, so this might not be as long as it seems, but it's still a decent length of a BT effect. Her FR condition, though, she teams with Kate Sith, and whenever the party does a transformed Brave or HP attack, you get plus 40. So think Machina's special HP, that'll hit it. Units like they use special HPs like Ursula, Paladin Cecil, Yuna, Ishtola, Irvine, who's on the banner, Lenna, who's on the banners. A bunch of those who primarily used HP plus to do damage, they're really gonna like this FR. It's a unique way to play, focusing around that. And it's 20% whenever Sherlotta batteries the party on her turn. So if she has a Paladin Cecil or a, what's it called, a Lilset RF on, and she uses her HP attack, she can get 60% on her turns, provided she uses one of those attacks. That is pretty nifty. Strengths-wise, overall evaluation, she's an incredible enabler. Cannot say this enough. There's the huge rumored elemental lockouts that are coming soon, like 2 months from now in content, and Sherlotta having the massive Brave gains on top of the Brave gains on Brave hits makes it so even if the unit's hitting ones, they can cap due to it. So she's providing a similar effect that Setzer did way back, and then Kate Sith to a lesser degree. Although Kate Sith didn't have a strong battery back then because of the lack of BT aura, but Sherlotta's got all that. Huge battery, like I said. She's got gauge charge. She's got good damage, at least if you're pressing her special HP attack that you get from the LD and her LD. Those are good buttons to press, especially in first time. And she's not Luna Freya. She has nothing to do with Luna Freya at all. And you can actually use these two together for some success. So please do not subscribe to the false dichotomy that has appeared in the community for no real reason. It's bad thinking. Weaknesses wise, she does have a very specific FR. If you're not running her burst phase, and I think it's a little awkward setting up those HP pluses to get off in her burst phase, so that might be a little weird. Otherwise, you're going to be leaning on units who do a lot of damage, or primarily do damage on their HP attacks, or maybe you're running someone who can press that transformed and then counters in the off turn. I think Kane jumping counts, which is hilarious, but she does have burst damage, as in she has big buttons, but otherwise, if you're not pressing those, she's not doing the greatest damage. I mean, her skill 2 got a little bit of an upgrade, but it's not great. You're probably going to be wanting pressing LD or transformed HP during her burst phase, and then her BT phase can be a little sketchy. So you probably might not want to lean on that and maybe use it to set up a force time, but for damage specifically, not the best. Now for Exdeath, he is a magic damage dealer. Because he just does it in a weird way, but he provides Brave and HP poisons. He does not break targets unless you use his Brave attack. Don't be a well, actually. He has attack-based Brave damage and attack-based Brave gains that culminate in HP attack. I want to be specific because words mean things. And he's a shield destroyer. I think that doesn't get called out enough, because the way his kit works, because it's stat-based damage, Brave damage, then he can actually just eat Brave shields alive when they do crop up. Does that happen often? I'm not sure, but it's something to point out. He is getting a BT plus every action. There's HP poison, that's nothing new, but it got doubled, I believe. Unfortunately, this does not scale with force and is a big detraction from Exdeath. He does get massive party battery after every action. This ticks after enemy turns too. Same with HP poison. He now provides with his BT plus an attack up by 100% to the party, which is pretty substantial. You'll notice that. And HP damage up to the party and HP cap up to the party by 30%. So you notice those. So he becomes a bit better of an aura bot, kinda. It's weird. He's kind of there to sit there and watch the world burn very slowly. Exdeath gets dinged a lot for his stuff not scaling in force time, and while it is a huge negative, that doesn't mean he's unusable. I wouldn't recommend him to anybody, and I'll get into that later, but he's got consistent damage, so that's something to call out, and he can stat stick. Really, he's going to be attractive to Eateroth degenerates because he can provide those stats up while also ticking things down. If you're not in any rush, he'll be providing a lot, but if you're just looking for unga bunga damage, there's better off-turn stuff at the end of the day, which is unfortunate. I'm not gonna go, by the way, I'm trimming down the slides just to try and get this stuff out faster, so I'm not gonna do an evaluation slide for everyone, just the main featured unit, so that's pretty much all I have to say for Exdeath. Now we're gonna move to Aphmau. Aphmau's getting C90 here, her damage got upped. She's a mixed damage support doing melee and magic damage. She's got turn manipulation, she attaches herself to a party member, and every time after Aphmau acts, the party member will get dragged up. If you run around for the Sidmau days, this was famously used to drive a lot of damage. She's got debuff evasion, if you apply the correct buff. She's got healing, HP. Does she have HP regen? I actually don't remember. She definitely has burst heals though on her Brave attack. She has transformed Brave and HP attacks now that do a little bit more damage, and she provides it's up to 4 buffs if she links up with them. So overall, Aphmau can drive a lot of primary damage dealers. This doesn't work as well in force time though, I don't think, unless you're running a Sherlotta team where you're focusing on Brave and HP attacks, because while Aphmau can bring someone back, Aphmau has to act during force time, and her damage, while it's better now, is still not the greatest. So it's a little tricky, but she does have insane utility, but I don't think she aged too well into this era, unfortunately. Ida is a melee damage dealer. She's getting a C90 as well, famously part of the Eateroth duo. She gets consecutive turns on break. She provides Brave and HP poison on debuffs, and she too has transformed Brave and HP. Sensing a trend on this banner, she has some kind of evasion from her LD, but you probably wouldn't end up leaning on that, but it is a thing. Ida's damage got brought up, so maybe you can Eateroth a little faster now. Her skills are just okay, but again, turn hoggers without an FR to drive them are still a bit sketchy in Forest currently, so not the greatest. She does have a good LD call for co-ops though, so if you don't have a silent call, Ida's an option. She's all right. And then we have Lenna. Lenna's not getting an update, but she's a range support. She provides debuff evasion on her skill 2 debuff. She provides a lot of healing, overhealing. Does she overheal? I have actually completely forgotten. But she does have a transformed HP attack that she uses for damage primarily. And she, yeah, like I said, I put debuff evasion twice. Shout out to proofreading. Lenna's damage is pretty outdated at this point, and it's kind of hard to justify her in the party. She's got what, 3 HP attacks max on her EX and transformed HP, so yeah, not the greatest damage. If you're bringing her, it's probably for the debuff evasion, but you can also get away with that via her call, which gives it a little bit, but yeah, no, she's a little bit outdated. And lastly, we have Irvine, who is a ranged hybrid support. He provides a decent amount of damage, but he also provides some supportive things to the party. He debuffs range resist down, so any range going on, they'll hit harder. He provides a blind debuff as well, so the enemies have a chance to miss. Although, unfortunately, it's not 100% blind, and if you're not always missing, you're never missing. But he primarily provides damage through his Transform Brave and HP, so if you're looking for another partner for Sherlotta's FR, he can do that. He's got minor gaze charge because his LD is a dead skill, and he provides heals on his EX. I think it's just his EX, actually. I don't remember if his rework skills heal as well, but that's a thing. So, overall, before you pull on the tier 10 banners, Sherlotta and Exdeath, what do I think? This from a meta perspective. Before I go through that though, I'm gonna give y'all what I'm thinking for the banner. Personally, Sherlotta was my #1 biggest regret skipping out in JP. Hands down, because she is such an enabler, and looking at her stats on paper, it doesn't really look like it, but in practice, Sherlotta basically lets anybody get away with anything in terms of doing damage, just because the massive battery beforehand and the brave gains on every brave hit you do means, especially like if it's off turn stuff, she can enable so many people. She makes everyone pretty much hit cap damage in practice, and it's amazing to watch, and I really recommend her. Her roll coverage is stellar. Like I said, gravity, regen, HP regen, battery, massive battery, and then hitting those FR conditions. I would even go as far as to say, even if you're not that interested in her FR, her BT is still a really good grab. For real. I can't express enough how much I regret that, and please, I can't do, the damage has already been done. The Sherlotta Luna Freya thing is already out in the wild, and I can't stop it, even though I think it's silly. But just be empowered to know that you don't have to pick between either one of these units. I mean, even though I think Sherlotta's fantastic, and going into what I'm gonna do, I'm getting Sherlotta immediately. She's really good. She's really good. I'm gonna get her FR, gonna get her BT, gonna green her. That, what, 80% brave gains, the cap, all that stuff. All those, because I kept complaining about Ferris, right, and how Ferris was locked out. But if Ferris could do the brave gain, the battery into the brave gain on hits, Ferris would be doing fine. Anyone, Sherlotta can help you do anything, basically. Really, I think she's, even with me selling like this, I can't sell it enough. She's very, very good, and I'd recommend everybody get her. Like I said, I'm gonna get her. I don't have Aphmau, Irvine, or Ida, and I might throw tickets because I'm capped just to collect some LDs, but I don't think I'd invest in any of them. But I think Irvine, it can at least be handy for being part of a Sherlotta party. But overall, my recommendations, I would stay away. I will stay far away from the Exdeath banner. I think that banner is just a dud completely. Like I said, Exdeath, he can be used, but that's not a great compliment. Your battles will take longer. I can't really recommend Irvine or Ida in this capacity. Neither can I recommend Aphmau. Actually, honestly, the big winner here is Sherlotta, and that's about it. So consider, if you're not interested in getting Sherlotta's BT here, you could get her LD if you don't have it already, and then get the BT on Reno, because Reno, if Sherlotta's my #1 regret, Reno might be my #2. And yeah, that's about it. Let me hear your ridiculous Sherlotta reductionism in the comments. Let's see who can be most creative. Let me know what you thought about the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good day. Peace.